Benedetti Asphalt PreHeater utilizes our patented exclusive propane burner technology. It allows a one-of-a-kind thermal transfer of 6 inches into the asphalt surface that is to be recycled, allowing the asphalt surface to be 100% recycled without the need for trucking of any additional aggregate. This piece of equipment requires 1 city employee to operate and runs just 10 feet in front of the Benedetti Asphalt Recycler. The Asphalt PreHeater is a custom-built unit. It's easy to operate and maintain and will provide years of service if city workers follow some simple safety and maintenance guidelines. This DVD is not an exhaustive guide to the PreHeater operation, but will act as a key part of the Benedetti training program. A training program that will save city jobs and millions of tax dollars each and every year. First, let's start with daily pre-starting procedures. Check engine oil level on the engine dipstick as well as the coolant level in the radiator. Then check the battery and all connections. Next, check the hydraulic oil level on the sight gauge and check the propane level via the gauge atop the tank. The daily pre-starting procedures continue with a check and bleed of the air tank for moisture. For proper safety, make sure at least 4 fire extinguishers are properly charged and within reach of the operator. Grease all fittings, including the pump drive and blower, and give the PreHeater a complete overall visual inspection. It's important that city recycling team members check the outer thermal skirting around the PreHeater furnace boxes before every workday. Now, let's move on to the PreHeater startup procedures. Before starting the engine, disengage the hydraulic pump drive. Turn on the key and let the PreHeater idle for at least 5 minutes prior to engaging the hydraulic pump drive. Then turn on the switch for the hydraulic cooling fan. You can now light the furnaces. You start this process by closing the bleeder valve located near the vaporizers. Next, turn the propane tank on and close the 2-inch valve located on the deck near the control panels just beyond the regulators. Then turn the control to the pilot position. Push the red button down for 60 seconds, and then release the button and turn the control knob to the on position. At this point, the burner tips should light. If not, turn the control knob off and wait 60 seconds and start again. After the vaporizers are lit, all control knobs should be in the on position. Then turn all green dials to the high position. Very slowly open the 2-inch ball valve. Opening this valve too quickly can damage the regulators. Next, idle the PreHeater up to 1200 RPM. Now you can position the machine to its starting point. But keep in mind, if the brakes are applied, the machine will not move. Now it's time to lower the front furnace. Turn on burners number 1 and 2 of the front furnace box. Press the igniter button for no more than 30 seconds. The furnace should then light. If the furnace does not light immediately, turn the switches off. Wait at least 60 seconds and try again. After the furnace is lit, check your gauge to see how many ounces your furnace is set at. At startup, this should be no more than 5 ounces. Now continue to light burners 3 and 4. After 60 seconds, slowly pull forward until the rear box is now at your starting point. Now turn on rear burners 1 and 2. Press the igniter button for no more than 30 seconds. The furnace should then light. If the furnace does not light immediately, turn switches off. Wait at least 60 seconds and try again. After the furnace is lit, check your gauge to see how many ounces your furnace is set at. Once again, at startup, it should read no more than 5 ounces. Now you can light burners 3 and 4. Let's proceed to some basic operating procedures. The PreHeater should never sit still with the furnaces lit, with the exception of your initial startup and the ending of a pass. After the furnaces are lit, the PreHeater should slowly pull forward about 100 feet. Stop, then back up to the starting point. This helps to warm up the furnaces and dry out any moisture that has occurred overnight. The preheater can then slowly pull forward so that the recycler may pull into place. If the preheater gets too far ahead, shut off and stagger the burners on both the front and rear boxes. You can then back up to the recycler and keep a distance of no less than 15 feet. Turn on the water sprayers for the rear tires by turning the switch to the on position and opening the hand valve at the water tank. And now for the preheater shut-off procedures. Shut down front and rear furnaces and then turn the propane tank switch off. Crew members can then close the water tank valve. Next, proceed to open propane gas valve to bleed gas out of the system. You can now lift the front and rear furnaces and proceed to a safe parking spot. The preheater's wheels should be turned into the curb, or a wooden block should be placed behind the tires to prevent the machine from emergency rolling. Next, idle the engine down and let the engine idle for at least 3 to 5 minutes while it cools down. Then you can turn the key to the off position and turn off the switch for the hydraulic cooling fan. It's easy to keep your Benedetti preheater running in tip-top form with the following basic weekly maintenance procedures. Check your engine air filters. If the filter gauge is in the red, then you must change them. Next, check the hydraulic filter gauges. This must be done with the machine running and the hydraulics engaged. Check and inspect all hydraulic pumps, motors, and hoses for any leaks or abrasions or any sign of wear. Check and inspect all gas lines on the upper deck and furnace decks. Also check the burner tips inside the all-gas vaporizer. And finally, it's important that you inspect the steering cylinders and the brake lines. Maintenance performed on the preheater for every 250 hours of use, including checking the oil level and front drive axle. Check the belts and hoses on the engines. Check and change the air filter on the air compressor. Check and clean the filter on the water tank. Check the spray nozzle tips on the top water tank. Next, check the belt on the blower. Change igniter battery in the all-gas vaporizer, and if needed, replace it with a fresh 9-volt. It's important that your team checks all lights and toggle switches on the control panel. And finally, after every 500 hours of use, it is critical that you check and/or change all hydraulic filters. By following these simple operating and maintenance procedures, this will allow your custom-built Benedetti Asphalt preheater to operate safely and efficiently for thousands of hours with very low maintenance costs. If you have any questions, simply contact the Benedetti customer service team at area code 440-439-3420.